Hi kids, I'm going to show you now a digital annotation of the story 11. This particular item here has directions. You are not going to have to do this. I'm just going to show you this because while I'm showing you some annotations that are done digitally, like on the computer, I'm also going to have Sandra Cisneros reading her story. She wrote this story called 11, and she wrote it specifically for kids. And the people that you have to give your stories to so you can get paid for them and they'll publish them, they said, "Oh, Sandra, this is not a story for kids." And she was really bummed about that. But actually, over time, it's become the most requested story that she has written. And she's a very famous author, actually. So this is what it would look like if you were to do annotations on the computer, perhaps. So let's listen to her read it. Notice that I've highlighted in yellow the ages, because that was pretty important. And I put here the exposition, just to remind us that the exposition is the beginning of the story as she's setting the scene to do the whole story. Our protagonist is Rachel. We know that already because we've read the story. And Sandra really goes into detail explaining what it's like to be all of these ages. She says that it's like an onion, the layers of an onion. She says it's like tree rings, like the inside of the trunk, that every year it grows, there's another ring. So this is a pretty old tree if it has lots of rings. And like the ages, she's talking about the wooden dolls, the Russian dolls, one inside of each other. Then, still in the exposition, she talks about the simile of that those 11 years are rattling in her mind like pennies in an old tin Band-Aid box. So in that simile, the narrator is comparing her years to the pennies inside of a box, just rattling around. Now, Sandra goes on to do the exposition all the way up to about 1/4 of the story, about 1/4 of the story is exposition. Then she finally starts getting into the actual story itself. And she mentions "not mine" a lot. That's why it's in a different color. The inciting incident is here, almost at the middle or end of the page of the first page. The setting takes place in a classroom in an area where the kids bring their coats. We don't know exactly what time of year it is. The rising action is coming up. She uses lots and lots and lots and lots of details about the sweater, but she doesn't have a lot of details about much else. Again, she says, "Not mine, not mine." She's showing the ages again. Not mine, not mine, not mine. And there's more sweater details. It's like a mountain. She wants to get rid of it. She moves it away from her. Again, the repetition of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of those are the ages inside of her. And she has even more gross details about the sweater. That it smells like cottage cheese. Ugh, gross. It's full of germs. The climax finally starts to happen after she breaks down. And that stupid Phyllis Lopez is dumber than Sylvia Saldivar. Oh, she remembers it's hers. Oh, that would drive me nuts. That's part of the falling action. And then this is the resolution. Right down here. So we're going to read this story as Sandra Cisneros actually reads it. And when she reads it, she's reading it the way she wants the audience to hear it. So since she's the author, we know exactly what she meant by the words she wrote.
11. What they don't understand about birthdays And what they never tell you is that when you're 11, you're also 10 and 9 and 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And when you wake up on your 11th birthday, you expect to feel 11, but you don't. You open your eyes and everything's just like yesterday, only it's today. And you don't feel 11 at all. You feel like you're still 10, and you are, underneath the year that makes you 11. Like some days, you might say something stupid, and that's the part of you that's still 10. Or maybe some days you might need to sit on your mama's lap because you're scared, and that's the part of you that's 5. And maybe one day when you're all grown up, maybe you will need to cry like if you're 3. And that's okay. That's what I tell Mama when she's sad and needs to cry. Maybe she's feeling 3. Because the way you grow old is kind of like an onion, or like the rings inside a tree trunk, or like the little wooden dolls that fit one inside the other, each year inside the next one. That's how being 11 years old is. You don't feel 11, not right away. It takes a few days, weeks even, sometimes even months before you say 11 when they ask you. And you don't feel smart 11, not until you're almost 12. That's the way it is. Only today, I wish I didn't have only 11 years rattling inside me like pennies in a tin Band-Aid box. Today, I wish I was 102 instead of 11, because if I was 102, I'd have known what to say when Mrs. Price put the red sweater on my desk. I would have known how to tell her it wasn't mine, instead of just sitting there with that look on my face and nothing coming out of my mouth. "Whose is this?" Mrs. Price says, and she holds the red sweater up in the air for all the class to see. "Whose? It's been sitting in the coat room for a month." "Not mine," says everybody. "Not me." "It has to belong to somebody," Mrs. Price keeps saying, "but nobody can remember. It's an ugly sweater with red plastic buttons and a collar and sleeves all stretched out like you could use it for a jump rope. It's maybe 1,000 years old, and even if it belonged to me, I wouldn't say so. Maybe because I'm skinny. Maybe because she doesn't like me. That's stupid, Sylvia Saldivar says. I think it belongs to Rachel. An ugly sweater like that, all raggedy and old. But Mrs. Price believes her. Mrs. Price takes the sweater and puts it right on my desk. But when I open my mouth, nothing comes out. That's not, you're not mine, I finally say in a little voice that was maybe me when I was 4. Of course it's yours, Mrs. Price says. I remember you wearing it once. Because she's older and the teacher, she's right and I'm not. Not mine, not mine, not mine. But Mrs. Price is already turning to page 32 and math problem number 4. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I'm feeling sick inside, like the part of me that's 3 wants to come out of my eyes, only I squeeze them shut tight and bite down on my teeth real hard and try to remember. Today, I am 11. Mama's making a cake for me for tonight, and when Papa comes home, everybody will sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. But when the sick feeling goes away and I open my eyes, the red sweater's still sitting there like a big red mountain. I move the red sweater to the corner of my desk with my ruler. I move my pencil and books and eraser as far from it as possible. I even move my chair a little to the right. Not mine, not mine. In my head, I'm thinking how long till lunchtime? How long till I can take the red sweater and throw it over the schoolyard fence, or leave it hanging on a parking meter, or bunch it up into a little ball and toss it in the alley? Except when math period ends, Mrs. Price says loud and in front of everybody, "Now, Rachel, that's enough." Because she sees I've shoved the red sweater to the tippy-tip corner of my desk, and it's hanging all over the edge like a waterfall, but I don't care. "Rachel," Mrs. Price says. She says it like she's getting mad. "You put that sweater on right now and no more nonsense." "But it's not now," Mrs. Price says. This is when I wish I wasn't 11, because all the years inside of me, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 are pushing at the back of my eyes when I put one arm through one sleeve of the sweater that smells like cottage cheese, and then the other arm through the other, and stand there with my arms apart like if the sweater hurts me, and it does, all itchy and full of germs that aren't even mine. That's when everything I've been holding in since this morning, since when Mrs. Price put the sweater on my desk, finally lets go. And all of a sudden, I'm crying in front of everybody. I wish I was invisible, but I'm not. I'm 11, and it's my birthday today, and I'm crying like I'm 3 in front of everybody. I put my head down on the desk and bury my face in my stupid clown sweater arms, my face all hot and spit coming out of my mouth because I can't stop the little animal noises from coming out of me, till there aren't any more tears left in my eyes, and it's just my body shaking like when you have the hiccups. My whole head hurts like when you drink milk too fast. The worst part is right before the bell rings for lunch. That stupid Phyllis Lopez, who is even dumber than Sylvia Saldivar, says she remembers the red sweater is hers. I take it off right away and give it to her. Only Mrs. Price pretends like everything's okay. Today, I'm 11. There's a cake Mama's making for tonight, and when Papa comes home from work, we'll eat it. There'll be candles and presents, and everybody will sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Rachel. Only it's too late. I'm 11 today. I'm 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But I wish I was 102. I wish I was anything but 11, because I want today to be far away already. Far away like a runaway balloon, like a tiny O in the sky. So tiny, tiny, you have to close your eyes to see it.